Good evening, PA Figs here. So we've got 3 figs to compare tonight. All look very similar. The leaf patterns on each looks different. The green Ischia and the Adriatic JH are somewhat similar in leaf pattern, but definitely different. And the Lake Spur unknown leaf pattern is completely different. And you can look through some of my old videos if you're curious as to what the leaf patterns look like. This video is going to concentrate on the figs themselves. So, first, stand these up so you can see the other side of them. So the Adriatic JH has been staying green lately because it hasn't been as warm out. When it's warm, they'll actually turn yellowish, much like the unknown Lake Spur. The green Ischia stays green. I've never really seen one get too yellowish. I mean, they'll get a little bit yellowish, but for the most part, this is kind of as much change as you'll see. Alright, let's go ahead and cut open the Lake Spur first. So that's a nice looking fig. It's not as syrupy as it is during the warmer months. It probably could have ripened a little bit more, but with the cold nights we're having, if you leave these almost ripe figs on too long, the insects start getting to them, the ants, some of the spotted winged Drosophila. So I've been picking them a little bit less ripe than I'd like, but they're still pretty good, and it's better to have a slightly not perfectly ripe fig than a overripe fig. A lot of the figs I'm noticing are not jamming up. They're not. It's not warm enough for them to dry out, and instead of over ripening, usually you can dry the figs right on the branch. But with the cold air we've had, cold or wet air, they just have been spoiling. So there's no point in leaving them on. Okay, so now this is the green Ischia. In years past has been one of my favorite figs. This year it's been good. I wouldn't say it's been as good as other years. I can really not tell you exactly why that is, but this one could have used a little more time on the tree. But the ants were pretty bad today. You can see that makes a beautiful fig, and if you let it go a little bit longer, it'll actually get a pocket of syrup in it, similar to like a black Madeira or some other types of figs. This one, you can see the white rim, the white fleshy part here on the outside. A perfectly ripe fig won't have that white. It'll be almost like a little bit of a yellowish, tannish color. But you can still see it's nice and ripe inside. This is kind of what people look for that don't know figs real well. They want this little bit firmer texture to it. They want it to be a little bit white around the outside. They don't really care for the wrinkled, squishy figs. I've been finding that with a lot of friends, a lot of family that I've been sharing my figs with. They want that, firmness to still be there like you would want with most other fruits, not realizing that figs are a little bit different, right? Okay, and last, this is the Adriatic JH. This definitely could have used a little more time, but it was splitting and some of the ants were getting to it, so I picked it. And I wanted to show this video, so let's see what we've got inside. Okay, that's still a pretty nice fig. Definitely not perfectly ripe. Definitely could have used a little bit more time. But it's, on par for the ripeness that the other 2 figs are, so it's actually a pretty good comparison. It's not perfectly ripe, but neither are the others. And you can see it still has that beautiful red interior. The green Ischia has the darkest interior, even though it's one of the least ripe out of the 3 here. The unknown Lake Spur has the second, but it might be just because the unknown Lake Spur is the ripest out of all 3. It's hard to tell. So, I'll be right back. I'm going to pause this for a second and take some pictures. Alright, let's go ahead and see what these guys taste like. I'm going to start with the Adriatic. Skin's real thick. All the skins on my figs are getting thicker as the weather gets a little bit colder here. Pretty good. Slight berry flavor. Not great. Definitely on the underripe side. Not a ton of flavor. Green Ischia. That's good. Green Ischia is an underrated fig. I mean, it's very easy to acquire, and it makes a beautiful fig. I mean, you can see the depth of this fig. It's a little thicker on the bottom, so you get that nice thickness. And, you know, it probably makes a real good jam. It's just an all-around good fig. It's, you know, for green figs, it's a must-have. All right. And now the Unknown Lake Spur. It might be because that's just a little bit riper, but it's got that intense berry flavor to it. Different texture than the other ones. Let me see if I can try to explain it. So, the Green Ischia has a jelly. Like if you ever had one of those fruit slice candies, it's got that texture to it, like a gelatin. The Unknown Lake Spur has more of a, how do I explain it? More of a soft, granular texture. Kind of like maybe oatmeal without the thicker oats in it, but you know that how it just sort of separates in your mouth when you bite down. The Adriatic JH is kind of in between the two. But they're all kind of unique. They're all a little bit different. And, you know, I don't know if I would, if you don't have a lot of space, I don't know that I would keep all three of them. If you can only keep a couple trees, I would probably keep just the Green Ischia, and that would be it. And then I'd get a couple black figs. If you've got room for, you know, 10, 20 trees, that might be different. I might keep the Unknown Lake Spur and the Green Ischia. The Adriatic JH gets great reviews. It hasn't blown me away above and beyond the Green Ischia. And the Lake Spur is just slightly different enough to make it worth having as well. So, alright. Hope you enjoyed these 3 green figs, and hope you get to enjoy some. Well, this summer's pretty much over, but maybe next summer. Alright, this is PA Figs. Have a good night.